Hi and welcome to The Winning Factor. I'm Alan Aitken, and on this show each week we take a look at some upcoming races in Hong Kong and we try to sort out a key ingredient of the race that we might look back on later as having decided the result. Well, of course, big racing returns to Sha Tin on Sunday, 3 Group 1s on FWD Champions Day, and there's plenty of information, interviews and everything you need to sort out the winners in those races all around the Jockey Club website. So I'm going to take a look at a couple of the support races, and the first of them is race 2 and our winning factor here, the stable change. Now the leading chances here look to be War Room having his first run for David Hall, War of Courage, who's been in such great form down the straight, the last start runaway winner, Car Ying Legend, he'll have his fans, and so too will Bright Vision and California Turbo. Now before I go any further, I've had some good responses, some good feedback on some of the statistics we've been showing regarding how jockeys and trainers perform versus market expectations. Now, rather than going into a deep explanation of it, I basically strip out the house take from the odds of horses which represent those jockeys and trainers, and we can get a true value market on their chances as a result and work out better who is performing and who isn't. And with such a concentration of attention in this jurisdiction on 2 jockeys, Joel Moreira and Zach Purton, often like to visit their statistics with particular trainers. And if we take a look here, this is a look at Zach Purton's figures, and probably his highest profile combination over the years has been with Casper Founds, and they do have a lot of winners together. But as you can see here, when you look at them in terms of market expectations, they fall a little short. And that means as punters, we might almost certainly look upon them as an unprofitable combination. So I've highlighted the past 2 seasons and trainers that Purton overperforms with: Paul O'Sullivan, Dennis Yip, David Hall, Benno Jung and Michael Chang. Now we'll get to more of that in a minute, but first of all, the likely favourite here is the 3-year-old War of Courage. He's been in great form, he's won 2 of his last 3 down the straight, and we're going to take a look at the latest of those, and here he is in race 533. And he's a 3-year-old with quite a bit of upside, this horse. He has a good pace to push forward in his races and shows plenty of guts when he gets challenged late in this race to hold on and win the event. So of course he's a great chance here, and as I say, the likely favourite in the race. But I want to look at another horse who might be a knockout chance here at better odds, and that's War Room. Now, regulars on this show will know that I often refer to a change of stable as a powerful factor in Hong Kong racing for punters to watch out for. And David Hall, he's one of the trainers who performs well at that. And also we see him here in combination with Zach Purton, with War Room, and we've already looked at what a good combination they have. So we're going to have a look at a couple of things to do with War Room. First of all, race 75 early in the season under his previous trainer, Jimmy Ting. And you see here War Room, he goes to the front over 1,400 metres. He's in the yellow and black colours and looks the winner momentarily until Band of Brothers comes along. And Band of Brothers, too good there, but no disgrace in that. He's gone on since, and he will likely be the favourite for the final event on Sunday, the Class 2 in the higher grade. And since joining the David Hall yard, we've seen War Room at the trials a couple of times, and I did like his latest effort down the straight. We're going to take a look at that. Once again, we see him off the pace and running on here. He goes towards the centre of the track, and he finishes up running on well for second here behind Big Time Baby, who is a very smart horse. He's in the Group 1 sprint on Sunday, so that gives you something to line up the performance of War Room. And although he's drawn a wider gate here, War Room, and I expect him to get back in the field, if you take a look at the map, we potentially have 3 or 4 horses pressing forward here, so there should be decent pressure on in the race. and that should give War Room his chance to wind up and be cutting them down over the final 100 metres. So the tip in race 2, War Room. His winning factor, the stable change. And while I think that War of Courage is a worthy favourite, this is his first attempt at 1200 metres, his first attempt around the turn, and I think that War Room, with the change of stable to David Hall, who performs well with these transfer horses, and with Zach Purton aboard, a great combination. I think he's certainly worth a ticket to beat the favourite here. The other race I want to take a look at is race 9, and our winning factor here, the tempo. Now this is a good quality Class 2 field, but I think we have some clear market leaders here in the 3-year-old Computer Patch, Shining Ace, one of the season's big surprise packets in many ways. Richard Gibson trained Gold Chest, who's racing well, and the lightly raced Transcendent, who's impressed in 2 runs so far in Hong Kong. And we've been able to get a good look at these horses recently. First of all, I want to take a look at the race down the straight, race 481, which was won by Computer Patch, and look at the heat map. Although it was a fairly slow early pace, it was quite a consistent speed for the remainder. That allowed him to run on. It also allowed Richard Gibson's runner to finish off. And back in the field, Shining Ace didn't really find the straight 1,000 metres to his liking, and he was well beaten. And the other relevant recent race with these horses is race 536. And Shining Ace this time preferred the shape around a turn and over 1,200 metres, and he was a quite impressive winner here, beating home Computer Patch and Transcendent. And I think the key here, when you look at the heat map on this race, that mid-race breathe around the circle, he was able to relax there, Shining Ace, and then kick off the turn. And that enabled him to get away and put a break on Computer Patch, who ran on into second. But I think the shape of that race did work against him, Computer Patch, and I don't think that'll be quite the same on Sunday, because one of the things that really hits you in the eye when you pick up the form guide for this race is speed vision and Moment of Power. They are both very quick horses. Moment of Power can lead most 1,000-metre races at Happy Valley, and I think there'll be a very different speed on here, a speed that will suit the run-on horses, and that's certainly going to play into the hands of both Gold Chest and Computer Patch. So that looks a really suitable scenario, and the tip in race 9 is Computer Patch. His winning factor, the tempo. I think he's a horse that we're going to hear more of next season, Computer Patch. He's got good finishing speed, and I think having those 2 run-along horses out in front is going to give him a race shape here that really suits his style. Well, that's it for the winning factor this week. Enjoy the Group 1s on FWD Champions Day Sunday. We'll see you next time.